Well, welcome to the latest edition of TV on the Net. I'm your host, Tom Vartanian. Today's show brought to you by AmeriQ Credit Union for every day, for everything. Located next to Little Caesars at 3944 Route 281 in Cortland. By Right Angle Creek Farm and Marathon, all natural, pasture-raised Angus beef from our farm to your table. By the Cortland Voice, the exclusive media partner of TV on the Net. For all your local news and sports in Cortland County at no cost to you, check out CortlandVoice.com. By the Royal Auto Group on Route 281 in Cortland, the home of no hassle, no razzle-dazzle. Check them out at RoyalAutoGroup.com. By Yeaman Real Estate at the entrance to Yeaman Park off I-81, exit 11 in Cortland. By Nikki C's Hometown Pizzeria and Meatball Shop on Route 281 next to Hobo's in Homer. Find them online for fast, secure ordering or call 607-749-5300. They have a unique menu with dietary-specific options. Nikki C's, your grab-and-go specialists. By Graftex, located on Elm Street in Cortland, founded in 1984, they provide custom screen printing and embroidery for teams and local businesses. Graftex continues its dedication to servicing customers' needs for innovative graphic designs, custom imprinted apparel, and quality service. They are easy to contact at 1-800-417-7791. By Riley's Cafe and Marathon, open 7 days a week for sit-in dining and a friendly family atmosphere. Riley's also offers carry-out and catering for some events. Check them out online at rileyscafe.com or call 607-849-6434. By M&D Deli, located on Central Avenue in Cortland, open Monday through Friday from 7 a.m. till 3 p.m. M&D has breakfast sandwiches, bakery items, and daily lunch specials. They are also available for catering. Check them out online on Facebook. Check out their Facebook page, for more information. Stop by or call 607-753-TO-GO. That's 753-8646. And look for their new food truck coming this spring. And by Crop Growers LLP, the first choice in crop insurance located in Homer. Contact KC Slade at 607-591-2460 for more information. Well, once again, we are gathering a Zoom call message today to do our work, even though my guest is right in Cortland, where I am living normally. But of course, I am still down in Tennessee for a couple more days, and kind of felt like Cortland down here the last 2 days, 6 inches of snow and 17-degree temperatures this morning. So I kind of felt like Cortland, but of course, Cortland got hit a lot harder with a lot more snow. And but be that as it may, we are going to talk baseball of all things, with all the snow on the ground. But joining me is the Cortland High Purple Tigers baseball coach, Ben Albright. Ben, welcome.
Hey, thanks for having me again, Tom. I was chuckling while you did your intro there. That's quite a bit longer than the first time, which means you're having a lot of success. So
yeah, we've had a couple here for the spring, kind of are going to take a break and get more back to the summer and winter and fall season. So but it's good. Yeah, but no, yeah, it's a couple more than what we had when we first talked. I think we had a couple maybe back in the day than when we first had one. But as we said, it seems kind of funny. I'm used to practices starting the week right after sectionals, and sectionals were this weekend for almost every sport. And now we're down just to a few state tournaments. But and I knew the OHSL was not going to start for another week till March 21st. But we kind of mentioned before we got started, it actually will be one more week for the the conference you guys are involved with. Also, it's going to be a little bit longer.
Yeah, I'm not really sure why that decision was made, to be honest with you, but maybe it was a blessing in disguise with the snowstorm we just got, and give us a chance to melt that snow this week. So we're chomping at the bit here to get going. And I had a couple coaches text me today, good luck tomorrow. And I don't know if they were rubbing it in, but I think they weren't aware we start on the 21st and they get to start tomorrow, the 14th. So yeah, we've still been doing our open gyms and had a lot of kids show up to that. So we'll be ready to go, with our feet running, I guess. So.
Yeah, a lot of us, like we said, this would be, we're kind of going to talk about this upcoming season, of course, and it's going to all be a little speculative, of course, because you may have a good idea who your final roster is, or you may not, because I don't know how many, but how many guys you got trying out for the varsity this year?
We actually have 21 guys coming to the varsity open gyms, which is a huge number, and this is a big class of juniors coming up. I'm excited to work with them. We've got a lot of returners from last year. We had a little bit of success last year as well. So, this group looks to, make some more noise, and I'm excited to get going here.
So talk a little bit about last year. Obviously, last year was at least a full or as close to a full season as possible, considering what COVID was the year before. So, talk about kind of, what it was like, getting last year to get, kind of get things underway again. And then, of course, we all know this, the springtime and summer, a lot more baseball camps, a lot of more, tournaments to be involved in. So it seems a little bit more normal during the summer also. But what's it like, last year and, getting ready for this year?
Yeah, well, actually, going back to 2020, when we lost this season, we were going to be really young. All of these seniors, of course, were sophomores, and they had literally zero varsity experience, and we were going to have a whole new roster coming in. So I looked at 2020 as, oh boy, we might take it on the chin, we'll take our lumps, but this will be a learning process. And then the season got canceled due to COVID, which, is always unfortunate no matter what. And I think I had briefly talked about, I don't know if that was with you, to be honest with you, but we discussed, the fact that it gave us a chance to learn without, having, some struggles in the spring at the school level. We had a lot of guys play over the summer with the Crush, Cortland Crush, Junior Crush, and that was their way of kind of getting varsity experience to play in those tournaments over the summer. And there was a lot of growth there. So then leading into 21, having seen these guys play together, I felt pretty comfortable with the fact that we had some studs. We had some guys that could throw the ball. We had guys that could hit. And we had, most importantly, a group that, enjoyed each other, enjoyed playing together, and really just wanted to get after it. And they understand the game. So, I can't explain what happened last year. We went 15-0 to start the year, which is by far the best start I've ever had from one of my teams. And that was pretty exciting. It was a long time coming for those kids to get on the field again, and as it was for everybody else. But they sure did take advantage of it. And, just watching them really get excited for each other, I think, is their best attribute. I've always said they play for each other, and it doesn't matter who on that team, is up to bat or on the mound or making the play. Everybody wants that kid or that person to get it done. So that makes it a lot of fun to coach these guys. They're all in. So, having lost really two mainstays last year, Jason Carr and Adam Menard, who were with me for quite a while, the rest of the group is coming back. So, I'm hoping we can fill those roles. Jason ate up a lot of innings. Adam was certainly a big bat for us through the years. But, this season looks to be promising. We've got to get out there and compete. So I don't want to make any promises, but I think we've got a good squad coming back, and they're eager to go.
And as you said, 21, been coming to the indoor, practice and stuff now. I know Homer's doing the same thing. They've been having their early morning practices, before school and stuff like that as well. They're pitching and different things. Realistically, how many, 21 obviously would be nice to keep everybody, but obviously at the same time, it's awful hard to get playing time for 21 guys in the season. So do you have a number in mind of how many you'll keep, or will you actually go with it all, considering
we're in a unique situation. So I think off the top of my head here, it's 8 seniors and 11 juniors, a sophomore and a freshman, if that adds up to 21. Correct me if I'm wrong there. I think that's 21. So, with the 8 seniors graduating, that's a lot of bodies. So next year, these juniors are going to have to step in and probably fill a lot of those positions. We've got, returners from last year that were in starting roles last year. So, to say it nicely, they're probably going to be the go-to guys to start and, on paper right now, because, I certainly don't know what's going to happen. But, if I were to sit in a room with a junior right now, I'd say, hey, this is your year to learn. You might get some opportunities, make the best of them. And, looking towards this season, hey, maybe you don't play as much as you want, but next year you might be the guy. So, this is a valuable year to get some experience at the varsity level, whether it's practicing or whether you're getting in games and, pinch running, pinch hitting, or stepping into a crucial role for us. So, depending on the kid, it's going to be a different conversation. I don't necessarily want to put a number, and say 15 or 13. We've had small rosters before. It's easy, when everybody's on the field and you've got a few that you can sneak in games and everybody's happy. I think it might be a little bit of a challenge to keep everybody happy if we're going 20, but hey, I'm looking at this as growth for the program. The numbers are not lying here that we've had some success and kids want to be a part of baseball, and that makes me excited. So I guess that's a good problem to have, as some coaches have told me. So we'll see how it plays out when we actually get after it on the 21st and give them a few official days of work and see where people are at. And those conversations are going to be very telling between the kids and I. So.
Well, and the thing is too, you never know, whether, you may want 20 guys with 15 of them being pitchers if games get backed up, not necessarily in Cortland, but, elsewhere. I mean, you were in a very unique situation last year. I think you're one of in the last couple of years, you're one of the few teams that really hasn't lost many games at home because of playing at Gutchess Lumber, the Gutchess Lumber Sports Complex. You've got turf now to play on.
Yeah, we're very fortunate to be over there. I'll touch on that in a second. I look back at last year. We actually had some pretty crucial injuries that were kind of freak injuries. Scott Horrigan, I literally hit him a ball in practice. He came up, fielded it. Everything was great, and he lands wrong on his foot. Has an aversion fracture, so he was out pretty much the whole season. Actually came back and got some time in the sectional game. We had to petition to get him on the field because he had already gotten his practices in, and that injury occurred. Then Ethan Hay took a swing during a game and ended up, I forget the exact injury, but he needed to have knee surgery. Took him out for the whole summer as well. So those were two guys that were looking to get a lot of playing time for us. And of course, Max Gambetta took a swing and hurt his left shoulder. So we had three starters basically out. And, the fact that we still went 15-0 tells you we're kind of deep, as far as able-bodied baseball players and kids that can play. But we ended up calling two guys up from the JV roster because we just didn't have the numbers. And they stepped in and kind of rotated in to fill some spots. But, you talk about that huge roster, you never know what's going to happen. So, if you have some guys ready and, somehow can keep them happy and keep them part of the team, feeling them, like they're part of it, which they certainly will be, you never know what's going to happen. So, but yeah, to touch about Gutchess, gosh, since we've been out there, we've had a lot of people call up and say, hey, our field can't be ready. We'll come to you. So, it's nice to get those home games. I know the parents appreciate a little less traveling too, but just the extra time it affords us every day to be able to kind of just, I don't want to say just walk out on the field and play, but it really is that there's a little bit less maintenance on our end. So we take full advantage of that, and we're very lucky to have it. And the town of Cortlandville's been very, very great to us. John McNerney's been awesome in helping get us out there. And of course our school, allowing us to do it. So it's been a benefit, no doubt.
And of course, starting practice on the 21st, and it's not that long, April 2nd, really just a couple of weeks, and you have your first game, and you start our count out with a home series with Oswego. So it'll be a couple of Salt City Athletic Conference games kind of right out of the gate. Of course, the opener, a 5:00 game on the 2nd at Gutchess Lumber, and that'll be an ASL game, ALS game. So I mean, that's a unique thing this year. I knew a lot of schools are getting involved in that this year. I know. So that anything as far as like working towards with the Lou Gehrig's disease and that's kind of a fundraiser game. That's a nice way to open the season, really.
Yeah, we have been a part of that for, well, I want to say 5 to 6 years now. And every year we get asked back, which is great. I think we put forth a good product for them, to showcase on the field, so they like us playing. But yeah, it's great. The ALS chapter does a great job. They bring all the coaches in. We discuss who we're playing, kind of let us take a league game if we want. And Oswego said they would definitely play us. That was our first matchup. I believe we were supposed to originally play on the 7th and 8th. So we took our home game and just moved it up to the April 2nd date. It's actually at 2. That needs to be changed on Schedule
Okay.
Galaxy. So we'll
All
get
right.
that. Yeah, the whole tournament itself has always been run at OCC and at the Syracuse Met Stadium, NBT. And I got a phone call and said, "Hey, how can we get on Gutchess Lumber?" And I said, "Here you go." And I gave them all the contacts, and they moved basically 2/3 of that tournament down here, the ALS tournament. So they're playing all day Saturday. They're having games for that at our field. So I'm excited to have that down here. That'll be good. We get to host that in a way. So I'm sure they'll be excited, and the other teams will be excited to be out on turf early, April 2nd. That's very early. So getting a game in when you can is very important up here.
And then, of course, I noticed the way the schedule is laid out. That they say the 2nd and the 7th. The 7th you go to Oswego. Then the next two league games are back-to-back day on Monday, Tuesday, or go to ESM on April 11th, and then back home at Gutchess on the 12th, the Tuesday at the. And I know that's wrong too. It's not 1:30 a.m. I know you're not playing at 1:30 in the
Well, it's
morning.
great. Yeah, it's 1:30 p.m. Does it say a.m.? Yeah.
It says a.m. So I know that's not a possibility, but
Get the athletics department on that one. I don't want to play at 1:30 in the morning.
but it's an interesting, like as I look at it, it's an interesting schedule. You play back to back, pretty much almost back to back days, home and away with your league opponents each year.
That changed a few years ago. So I'm actually our league rep for the Salt City Athletic Conference for the A's. And Ryan Dara, the JD coach, is our section rep. So we discussed it, kind of put it to a vote. If we have an ace and then nobody else, and we play ESM early in the season and we play ESM later in the season, they won't see our ace now, both times, because we're supposed to play back-to-back days. So obviously with pitch counts and common sense, you're not throwing a kid, 2 days in a row. So you won't see the other team's ace. So hypothetically, trying to make it more competitive, so the better teams winning that home and away set of games. So it was just something different, and nobody else was really doing that when they had to play 2 league games against everybody. We tried it out the first year. It was very telling who the best team was, and we decided to continue that. So we as a league or a conference have Monday, Tuesday, and then some weeks were Thursday, Friday, which I'll tell you what, when you start playing, the JDs and Syracuse's and, Auburn's, and you get those guys in the same week, or Thursday, Friday, Monday, Tuesday, that's a heck of a part of your schedule right there. So, it is, it's meant to may the best team survive, I guess. So.
So, and of course, one of the other highlights, of course, is early in the season. It always is early in the season. April 15th will be the Parchinone tournament again. And right now, you guys are playing Dryden first round, then Homer against somebody to be named yet.
So we actually just got Moravia to join in. So yeah, we'll be revamping that. Originally, we had Camden. Go figure, they dropped out of the tournament to go to Florida to play some games. So I can't be too mad at them. I understand. Although I'm hoping to have played, 4 games by the time the tournament comes around on the turf. But yeah, so Moravia needed some games. They said they could play that day. And so we'll have Moravia, Dryden, Homer, and us, which is a nice local flavor, for the Parchinone tournament, which, has a long history in our program, and we want to continue that and keep it local. So
And I kind of laugh just as far as things that go on, as far as, the regular season and everything continues and you pick up some non-league games. But kind of on May 15th, I see on May 15th right now, it says on the schedule, a non-league contest. But you get to see the Purple Lions out of Dryden for a second time. But this time you get to go over and play at the Doubleday Field over in Cooperstown.
Yes. I got to thinking, boy, we need another game here. So what could we do different? And I thought back, my good friend Abe Johnson had invited, this was 8 years ago when he was the McGraw coach. He invited us to go out and play against him. So that was in my mind. I thought, man, maybe we could get on the field. I looked up the dates and May 15th was available. So now it's a Sunday. We'll see what we have. And we didn't have Lansing the next day at that time. So it was a great day to put it. And you know what? The experience for the kids is really why I want to do this. I want this group to get out there. I kind of presented it to them after I got this on the schedule. And I asked the kids to raise their hand who's been to the Hall of Fame ever. And, maybe half the kids raised their hand. And I thought, wow, that's pretty telling. And then I said, who's been there in the last 5 or 6 years? And I don't think there was anyone that raised their hand. And I know I can't even raise my hand at this point because we're just so busy. So this will be fun for the kids, their families. We'll try to make a day of it, leave early, go out and tour the museum, grab a bite to eat, and then go play a game on a very historic field. So we're looking forward to that. I know the families are too.
Yeah, that answers my other part of the question. I know if was it going to be a full day trip where you get to actually take in the environment and then play a game, and some others play a morning game, then they have all afternoon to do things. But either way, so yeah, that should be fun. And look at this non-league schedule. I mean, it's all league games other than the Parchinone tournament there on April 15th. It's all you play all your league games right up, from starting there on April 2nd until May 10th when you close out the a 2-day dance with Central Square. But then your non-league games, Carthage, who's always a pretty strong team. Dryden, you never know what you're going to get with Dryden. Sometimes they're good. Sometimes they're, you'll get a preview of them at least.
We've played Dryden 1,000 times the last 3 years, and I'll tell you what, they've improved immensely. So I know that'll be a challenge, and you throw that in there, like you said, right after Carthage, who Joey Sesh does a great job. We've been playing them for years and always enjoy that. He looks forward to coming down here. Then we have Lansing, who I think will be competitive, and then a very strong West Hill program. So Teddy Kim will be ripping and ready to go on the 18th.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, not an easy non-league schedule by any stretch. After you get through the, your division, as far in the Salt City Athletic Conference. As far as teams in the division this year, who do you think are going to be the teams to keep an eye on along with you guys?
I always say this: we're the smallest A, and I'm not trying to, complain about it. It is what it is, and it's tough for us every year. We've got to play the big schools. Auburn is so big, and they have so many kids up there. Last year, look at that. We went 15-0, and then we go and play Auburn at the end of the season for basically the league title. And we had 2 one-run games, and they ended up on the right side of it. We were on the wrong side of it, but they were the best high school baseball games I've seen in years. Both teams pretty much played flawlessly. We just couldn't get the run across. I know we had up at Falcon Park, which is a great venue to play at, under the lights, we had the tying run on third base with 1 out. We couldn't get the run across. So we lost both those games. They won the league. They did lose a few, but as did we and everybody else. So I'm sure Auburn's going to be pretty good. I'm always going to throw them up there. JD's always pumping out some good teams. Syracuse, another big school. You never know. They get a couple kids that can throw the ball and shut you down. So, just quick thinking right there, I'd say those would be the teams to go. That Oswego game early, though, is going to be tough. Both teams will want to get off to a good start, and I know we knocked them off in sectionals last year. So I told the kids, look, no matter what, we're that team right now. Everybody knows has a lot back, and we have that target on us, and it's big. And everybody's going to want a piece of Cortland and be the team to beat us. I'm not trying to say we're the team to beat, but I think I think we are going to be very competitive, and everybody knows it. So we need to be ready from day one.
Yeah, well, you won't sneak up on people this year, putting up 15 wins that quick like you did last year. So yeah,
Yeah.
as you said, as far as players this year, like you said, eight seniors are back this year. I know sometimes positions always change too, depending on needs and where you have to fill the holes and stuff. But who are the eight seniors you got coming back this year?
Yeah, well, I'll start with everybody likes to talk about him. And he's very good. He can throw the baseball. Tyler Blake, our big lefty, is back. He's healthy. He had an unfortunate injury in the sectional semifinal, but he was casted up. Hey, I don't know if you know all of the details. He ended up breaking his olecranon process, which is basically the elbow, and it was a clean break. They put him in a cast. No surgery. It was pretty simple recovery, and he did a rehab program in the fall. We actually worked through VCU with a little guidance, to kind of follow a program and get him to where he needed to be. And then we shut him down. And, since he started throwing again in the off season here, I'll just say his velocity is that and then some. So he looks very good. If he's throwing strikes, that'll be awesome for us. Caden Congdon and Cooper Kanabe will be the next two on the hill there with him. And Cooper didn't pitch much last year. He pitched a lot over the summer last year. He's got some really good stuff. They're both headed to Utica University, formerly Utica College. They'll play for my friend Corey Haggerty, and Noah Barber is out there now. So they're looking forward to that. Brendan May is there as well, who's a local guy. So they're really looking forward to that. Caden Congdon was awesome out of the bullpen for us last year. We'll see where his role falls this year. Tyler's certainly going to be a starter. Cooper does some catching for us. So, depending on how much catching, that'll determine how much we use him to pitch, because we don't want to burn a kid's arm out. But then, Scott Horrigan's healthy. Scott's throwing so well right now at open gyms, looks great. These guys have put a lot of time in the off season, and, starting to ramp up bullpens and pitch counts and things like that. So we're ready to go here. And then around the field, we have options. That's the biggest thing for us, depending who pitches. That gives us a different look behind the plate, at first base, second base, in the outfield. So we have guys that can maneuver around and play different positions. Ethan Hay could play just about anywhere. If he hears that, he's going to laugh because he'll want to play short, but or catch or center field. He's one of those guys. He'll play anywhere and do whatever he asks. He's an outstanding individual and teammate. Andrew Parchinone is another. He's not a senior; he's a junior. You asked me about seniors, but he moves all over the place for us. Max Gambetta, he's our mainstay out in the outfield. I'll tell you what, you put Gambetta and Parchinone, and one of them's catching it. I don't care where it's hit. So that's always fun to have that look out in the outfield. That group right there is a fun group. I've enjoyed seeing them grow up together through the years. Luciano DeVito is going to be out this season physically. He just had surgery last week, non-sports thing, but he's doing well, and he just texted me today. Actually, it was his birthday Friday. I wished him a happy birthday, and he said, "Coach, I can't wait to be part of the team. I won't be able to play, as you know, but I'll be at every practice." And that just tells you what kind of kids we've got. The kid can't play, but he wants to be there. Okay, I'll take that any day. And that's what we had with Ethan and Scott last year. They were out pretty much the whole season, and they were there to play catch and toss the ball and throw to hitters and do whatever we needed. So that group's pretty special, and I'm glad I get one more year with them. I don't want to forget Nick Yanta's back, and he came back to baseball last year. And I'll tell you a funny story. So Nick Yanta's a soccer player. If you ask anybody, the kid plays soccer. He played basketball, good basketball player, good athlete, great family. Kid says, "Hey, can I come back to baseball?" I said, sure, you haven't played in a while. He might be a little rusty. And he was, and he'll tell you that. And we got him up to speed, seeing a fly ball in the air and tracking it down, things like that. Didn't play much. Told him, hey, your role's going to be to run, for Jason Carr. And he's a little bit faster. Jason's a very good base runner, smart baseball player, but when it comes to speed, Nick's got it. So Nick, every practice is trying to learn something. So then we get to games. He made a couple mistakes, no biggie. We kept putting him in that role. And then it started to be, hey, you're the tying run. We're putting you out at second base to pinch run. Well, he scores a couple times. And he's excited. We're excited. We win. And then one game, we won. And I had put him into pinch run, and we won the game. And, that's all that matters, right? So we're in the dugout, and I look. Nick kind of has this frustrated look on his face. I said, Nick, everything okay? And he kind of looked at me, shook his head, yes, still looked a little frustrated. One of the guys said, Coach, he's mad he didn't score. I said, oh, Nick, we scored more runs. He goes, no, Coach, my job is to score, and I didn't score. So at one point I said, Nick, you go in as a pinch runner, your job's to touch home plate. And he said, I didn't touch home plate. I'm not happy. So, these guys are embracing, whether it's a small role, they realize how important it is to the team. So, yeah, I love it. It's good.
Yeah. Oh, like that's an advantage. Like you say, if, barring injuries too, you need that once so often. You're going to need a pinch runner, and somebody else can go in and play defense, but you need that pinch runner. I mean, that's, if he's not in the field somewhere, that's, there's, a lot of teams don't have just a designated, pinch runner that they could use.
Yeah, I mean, it actually worked out very well for us at times last year to have that available to us. So, yeah, it's pretty neat. But that ability to say, hey, this kid needs to pitch, you need to go here, you need to play here, and switch guys and not feel hamstrung, and boy, we have somebody out of position. I think back to when I first started coaching, we had one guy, it was Brian or Yale Hughes. He could play any position. We certainly didn't want him to catch, but he was our emergency catcher. But he could play first. He could play outfield. He had to play short for us. If you look back, he was at shortstop, and he's not a shortstop, but he embraced being able to play any position. And, that's kind of where I started thinking, boy, over the summer, these guys have to play other spots. And, that way from a team standpoint, it becomes more valuable. Each kid does.
So like you said, you said 11 juniors that, you kind of mentioned one already, you mentioned Andrew, but who are some of the other, juniors?
Yeah, so Luke Rogoff is coming back from last year. He was a call up about halfway through when we had those injuries. And Luke actually was called up. Boy, if I remember correctly, it was right before the Parchinone tournament last year, which was a little later in the season. But he went on the mound and absolutely dominated that game. I think he threw a one-hitter, and he kind of earned his stripes, so to speak, that game. It was against Stockbridge Valley, a small D school, but hey, he's pitching against JV competition all year. He comes up in a varsity atmosphere and is able to get it done. That spoke volumes. The kids were excited that he was able to accomplish that for us. So, yeah, I mean, those two guys really just, from a junior standpoint are the guys that contributed last year and that were with us. Everyone else that's a junior, I'm thinking hard here. Yeah, I'm not missing anybody junior wise. They're all new from JV, so they're going to be in a unique situation where they're really playing to be that top junior that's coming up to get the at bats or to play a corner outfield position or a corner infield position when somebody pitches, and we'll see where that takes us.
And you said you got one sophomore, one freshman also.
Yeah, so the sophomore is Ethan Johnson. He came up with Luke Rogoff last year, and Ethan played a little bit in the outfield. He'll do some catching this year, hopefully to allow Cooper Kanabe to get on the mound more for us this year. Adam Menard was our second catcher last year. So, Ethan will take that role over, and looking forward to him, getting his second year here and probably in an increased role for us. So, and then the freshman, of course, has the same last name as me, and he did a great job as an eighth grader last year for us at short. And he's putting in time just like these other guys to have a better year this year, even better year. So
I was gonna say I knew that young name had to be, because I remember we talked to him last year about having to play for Dad. So a little bit like him last year.
I think it went all right. He he's played for me for years, whether it was a little league atmosphere or a travel thing, or now at the high school level. As a dad, I'm pretty proud of him for doing what he did, but from a team standpoint, it was huge for us for him to be able to play short. And I know the guys, embraced that and didn't look at him as, a junior high kid, which he was. And now with him being around these guys so much, it's a big family, and these guys are all in it together. So we're all looking forward to this year, kind of second go around together at the high school level, and we'll see what we can do.
And I know you've got a number of guys that have been playing year round. I know, of course, a big thing is now, is Prep Baseball Report, PBR, is coming in, kind of really coming into town a little bit more to help increase the field capabilities at the Duchess too. And that in turn will bring in some tournaments as well, so you'll get some people in the area will get to not only some local talent, but some more, talent from throughout the country. I think that's really become a big thing, and it's going to be very important in the future of baseball in the Cortland area.
I just got back from Williamsport for the second weekend in a row because there was a PBR event that my kids needed to go to. So, yeah, we're in the PBR mix as well in our house. We had a few other guys go to events this year, and we've had a ton go to events in the past. The nice part about the relationship with Cortlandville and PBR is a lot of these events now are being held in our backyard. So when it comes to maybe a junior future games or, the New York State future games, we're hosting them here in Cortland, and people don't realize how big that is. Not just from a baseball standpoint, but financially. I mean, if I'm a business owner here, that's huge to have people coming to your restaurants and your gas stations and staying in the hotels. It's unbelievable. Some people don't like that. They want it to be quiet, but I beg to differ. I want to see some action around here, which means we've got some growth potential. So in a good way. And I'm excited about this partnership, I guess. And I'm sure without a doubt that this is going to go well, because it's unbelievably huge, for the game of baseball.
And the big thing is, like you say, the economic impact will be, people wonder about that. Yeah, the economic impact will be, big for the area between that. And it's kind of interesting how Cortland is on the map a lot more. I know that's going to be a big chunk of it. But of course, all the success Joe Brown's been having with at SUNY Cortland and stuff. And of course, he's helped coach some national, go down and coach with some national teams and been doing some stuff too. So, I mean, there's Cortland, New York has, it's become quite a, is becoming a baseball hub kind of in its own right.
Yeah, we've obviously got one of, if not the best, Division III baseball program in the country right here in Cortland. And I say that being an alum, having played for Coach Brown, but that's a fact. That's not even it's not an opinion. I just watched today, they just won 2 games down in South Carolina today, and they continue their success this year, being number 1 in the country 2 weeks in a row. So that goes without saying. I think if you look, I don't want to leave the Cortland Crush out. Bill's done a great job there, and certainly has built that. When I mentioned Williamsport, I was down there. My son had a Cortland Crush hat on, and a young man came up and said, "Is that the NYCBL Cortland Crush?" And he told me how he played for the Wellsville Nitros, and he knew Bill McConnell. And so the baseball world I'll be honest, is starting to revolve at least in the Northeast around Cortland. And that's fun for me to say that's my home, and get excited. We, gosh, 5 years ago, I was asked to be on a committee for the Gutchess Park. And I said, yeah, absolutely. I'd love to do it. So I was fortunate to kind of take part in that. And then I went to the New York State Baseball Coaches Convention. And the PBR owner, Dan Savit, was there. And I happened to have the plans with me for the field, which was public knowledge. And I had asked, hey, am I allowed to show these? Yeah, you sure can. Because they were breaking ground and they wanted to get the word out that this facility was coming. So I had known Dan a little bit, so I give you the G-rated version here for on air, I guess. But we were at a Resorts World casino where the convention was held, and I found him a little later that night. Happened to have the plans with me, knowing I'd see him, and walked into the bathroom as we're washing our hands. I said, "Hey, you need to check this out." And I showed him the plans, and he literally said right then and there, "We're coming to Cortland." And here we are, 2022, when PBR New York is here and PBRT is here. And that has been a relationship that's just grown with the success, that our local, groups have been able to get this going, whether it's John McNerney or Tom Williams on the board at Cortlandville. Just fantastic work. Spike Van Gorder, I know, has been a part of it, and I hope I'm not leaving people out. Michelle Phelps with the Regional Sports Council. I mean, just outstanding work to get these guys here and keep them happy. And they do not want to leave because, now they're going to break ground this summer on 2 more fields. And, to have 4 fields, the amount of games and that can be played by other groups, and us still getting to play on those fields, it's awesome. Our kids at the travel level, our high school kids, we're all going to get to use those. And I know there was concern about that, but they've been nothing but wonderful about making sure we're on the schedule first and working around us. And these PBR tournaments will be over the summer. Yeah, I'm looking forward to this. This will be, it's cool. It's 10 minutes down the road for me, and I can go watch baseball whenever I want. So,
yeah, I know. I heard there's one thing I talked to Michelle about a little bit when we talked about it. Just, not long before they had the one vote on the, what was going to the expansion and all that kind of stuff. We were talking about that. And supposedly, and if people wondered, it was when you watch some of the Olympics and the world stuff this year. Supposedly, that these 2 new fields are going to be those where you can kind of make it play either softball or baseball really on it, and it's just a matter of they want to put a shorter fence in for softball, but it's also going to be available for use for other things other than baseball and softball too.
Yeah, so the adaptability of the fields is quite unique. So we stressed having portable mounds so that they can adjust the distance or remove them completely so you could do a softball game. I will say the softball groups have figured out that they can play softball on the 2 existing fields, and it's great. I went over there for a practice once. I looked over, there's a slow pitch championship game going on, and it's half the guys I know in Cortland playing over there. So that was fun to see. And then another night we were leaving, and the youth girls softball, I think it was a McGraw team, was rolling in, and they were going to have a game over there as well. So yeah, it's fantastic for this area, whether it's baseball, softball, or of all ages. So it's great. The opportunities are they're there, and I think people need to take advantage of it.
And I still think I just think it's neat. Anytime I'm over towards Ithaca or Dryden or that direction, you come in some night and it's dark, but it's like the Field of Dreams. There's lights on. There's baseball being played out in the middle of Cortland.
Last summer when the corn was up there, the teams that were visiting in our Cortland Crush Classic tournament, they were taking team photos walking out of the corn. And it's cool. I mean, we kind of, there's the corn. We don't think twice about it, but wow, look at this. So yeah, it's outstanding. And Tom, I got to tell you, my son played down in Georgia last year, and we were down in Cartersville, Georgia at the Lake Point Sports Complex. Well, anyway, we're sitting there, and some parents are talking about, oh, these new fields, they're great. They're in Cortland, New York. Do you know where that is? And oh yeah, I heard about it. And these people are just having a full-on conversation in Georgia about Cortland, New York. And they have no ties to Cortland, but their kids have played there. Their kids are going to play there. So, here we are being put on the map because of, some artificial baseball fields that were put in, and somebody had a good idea. So I think it's great.
So as far, get the back, talk a little bit more about the Purple Tigers. What, I know obviously you want to repeat what you did last year and improve on that, which will be kind of hard to do as well as the team play, but what are the kind of the goals this year for Cortland?
Not having had our first day yet and having the team, chosen, that's something we usually do. But I will say that this group, if I were to guess right now, they're going to tell you that they want the league championship. They want to be in that sectional final. And they won't take anything else. That's a goal. I mean, we were literally outs away from going to the championship last year. We were one win away from sharing the title with Auburn last year for the league. So we were close. They could taste it. And with the group we have back, I know they're hungry as ever to go after it again. So, I mean, it starts with day one. We've got to play complete baseball games. But with these guys back, I have no doubt that we're going to be ready to roll.
And one more thing I want to throw in here, because it's been an organization that's been growing, and that's kind of led to even more success at Cortland, as much as success at some more, success at times at McGraw, and Homer, of course, has its own group. But Crown City Little League, continues to grow, and that is proven everybody said, oh, how big will the league be here? Homer had it, and so some kids played there, and there's other things kids went around and found ways to play. But Crown City Little League has really turned into a program, and I know you've been a big part of that with all your boys coming up through that to really the development of baseball, at the even junior high and high school levels now in the area.
Yeah, I can't say enough about the program. I mean, I think this is year 12 of Crown City Little League.
Might be.
Does that sound right? Yeah. The pure numbers that we're producing now, I mean, it's to the point where, for a little while there, we had 2 junior high teams. I had to go ask for a second team because we had so many kids interested in playing baseball. That didn't quite go over well with the lacrosse community. But I wasn't taking kids. These were kids that played baseball since the age of 5. So, for Crown City to be able to, get a glove and a bat in kids' hands, and then to get a bunch of dads that, always mean well and want to take part and teach the game and love the game. And, that just keeps kids interested. So we've had a lot of hands helping that, a lot of areas don't always have. So, I'm very thankful for that. I mean, this junior class was that group where we needed to get a second junior high team, and they've all stuck with it. So they obviously love the game. There's quite a few sophomores as well. But, even you mentioned the other, like McGraw reaps the benefits. McGraw is going to have a great team here in the future. They've got a great group of kids in junior high that just left Crown City Little League because they aged out. So, they're going to see the benefits as well here pretty soon as that program grows. So, yeah, for this area, it starts with Crown City Little League, no doubt. And as my wife said to me, Abby said to me years ago, don't ever complain about it unless you're taking part in it. And that's all I had to hear once, and I showed up and started doing my part, I guess. From a baseball sense, and it wasn't to fix anything. It was just to get in there and put my ideas and thoughts as the varsity coach, and everybody works together. It's great.
Do you ever look forward to the day where you won't have a kid coming through Crown City while trying to also play, your varsity schedule with your boys and everything.
I'll tell you, there was a time where Cam was in rookies, Cal was in minors, and Caden was in majors. And then I also had the varsity team. So I was legitimately coaching 4 teams. I wasn't the head coach on all 4, but I was there, and it was every single day and night. And I look back and I smile because it's fun. It really is. I'm sure I'll look back and miss it. I'm at a different stage now where Caden's playing for me. Cal is, up at the junior high and looking to play some high school baseball as well. So we're just at a different stage. Cam's our only one down there. He's 9. So he gets 4 more seasons of it. So it's not going anywhere anytime soon. So I'll be taking part as well with Cam's next few years of baseball. So, who knows after that? I'd like to still take part. I think that's an important role for the varsity coach to certainly have their hand in the local little league. So it like you said, it's been nothing but a benefit to us.
And also it's a way to get to City Field to watch a Mets game every so often with those kids coming up through the hit and run contests.
Yeah, we've had a few. We got into Yankee Stadium too, and that was a lot of fun. Yep. Oh yeah.
I suppose I shouldn't close out this our conversation either without, like you say, you all this time you're spending and doing all this. You got a pretty good support on the other side there with Abby. All the years she's involved in coaching and doing stuff, and being there for everything you've been doing with the guys.
Yeah, she told me, if it's for Cortland baseball, she won't say no. So I don't know if she realized what that meant at the time with me being involved with everybody ages 5 all the way up through for so many years, but she definitely meant it. She's been very supportive, and she's been there every step of the way. And here's another funny one for you. And Rob Nishaka will remember this. I was the junior high coach over at Homer, and I have to say it was a great gig being at Homer and teaching junior high boys PE there. And all of a sudden Mick Lowy retired. So of course Abby calls me up, being a teacher at Cortland and us living in the Cortland district, and said, "Hey, you're going to put in for that, right?" And I said, I don't think so. I just got over here. I like it. And, took her about 2 seconds, and she said, "Well, let me ask you, are you going to coach with your boys or against your boys?" Meaning our children. And I knew the answer right then was I will put my paperwork in. So luckily it worked out. I got over to Cortland, and I can't say anything bad about it. I've enjoyed my time here, and it's been awesome. And I'm looking forward to this season and beyond. So it was a good move. She's had a few good ideas through the years, I guess.
I'll say this, but I've had as much fun watching the Cortland Homer rivalry over all the years that I've been around it with you and the Shock. And now, because I can remember back in those days of Baden and Tobin. So I mean, there's just it's an intense rivalry, but also at the same time, it's a kind of fun rivalry. Your 2 teams will kind of at times get together and do things to support the community, regardless.
Yeah, we actually talk all the time, and we have a great relationship. And it's funny, we could have a great season, and Homer could be not doing as great. You put us on the field together, and you have a tight game. And I think back a few years ago, we had to win on a walk-off ground ball play at the plate, and it was one of those. Yep, that's a Homer Cortland game, and we've been on the other side of it before too. It's been a little bit, but Homer had beaten us in the Parch tournament a few years back, so we've definitely had our battles. So I'm looking forward to that, and next year, I don't know what will happen with leagues and things like that, but we become a B next year. I don't know if you're aware of that.
Okay.
So we'll be a B under the current format of classifications. And then it gets a little interesting because in 23, 24, they could go to that 6 classification system that's being voted on now, which would bump us back up to an A, but we'd be in the middle of the pack, and Homer comes up to be an A, and they'd have AAA, AA, single A.
Yeah.
B, it's crazy, but that might that might boost what these games mean, if it puts it back into us being in the same league as Homer, which that's fun. I like a good rivalry game.
Right. Well, again, Ben, thanks for taking time to talk to us, and we wish the Cortland Purple Tigers the best of luck once the season gets going. And remind everybody again, April 2nd will be the opener out at Gutchess Lumber. So we want to, wish the team 2 o'clock.
That's at 2. Yeah, we'll get out there.
One of those 2 changes on Schedule Galaxy you'll see coming soon to Schedule Galaxy.
Yeah, bring your coats and come say hi. I hope we're going to see people out there.
Yeah, that game in that 1:30 in the morning game, that'll get changed also. Trust us.
Yes.
Ben, thanks and best of luck this year.
All right. Thanks, Tom, for having me. Enjoy.
With that said, that'll do it for this edition of TV on the Net. Today's show brought to you by AmeriQ Credit Union, for every day, for everything. Located next to Little Caesars at 3944 Route 281 in Cortland. By Ryan Eagle Creek Farm and Marathon. All natural, pasture-raised Angus beef from our farm to your table. By the Cortland Voice, the exclusive media partner of TV on the Net. For all your local news and sports in Cortland County at no cost to you, check out cortlandvoice.com. By the Royal Auto Group on Route 281 in Cortland, the home of no hassle, no razzle-dazzle. Check them out at royalautogroup.com. By Yemen Real Estate at the entrance to Yemen Park off I-81, exit 11 in Cortland. By Nikki C's Hometown Pizzeria and Meatball Shop on Route 281, next to Hobo's in Homer. Find them online for fast, secure ordering or call 607-749-5300. They have a unique menu with dietary-specific options. Nikki C's, your grab-and-go specialist. By Graftex, located on Elm Street in Cortland, founded in 1984. They provide custom screen printing and embroidery for teams and local businesses. Graftex continues its dedication to servicing customers' needs for innovative graphic designs, custom and printed apparel, and quality service. They are easy to contact at 1-800-417-7791. By Riley's Cafe and Marathon, open 7 days a week for sit-in dining in a friendly family atmosphere. Riley's also offers carryout and catering for some events. Check them out online at rileyscafe.com or call 607-849-6434. By M&D Deli, located on Central Avenue in Cortland, open Monday through Friday from 7 a.m. till 3 p.m. M&D has breakfast sandwiches, bakery items, and daily lunch specials. They are also available for catering. Check out their Facebook page for more information. Stop by or call 607-753-TO-GO. That's 753-8646. And look for their new food truck coming this spring. And by Crop Growers LLP, the first choice in crop insurance located in Homer. Contact Casey Slade at 607-591-2460 for more information. So once again, best of luck to the Cortland High Purple Tigers baseball team this season, and Ben Albright for joining us today. I'm Tom Vartanian. Thanks for listening, and we'll talk to you soon.